I do want to talk about this last subject of our Black here, Tracy, because we all know one of the most talented people of your era. I was going to just say guards, but I really would say everything. Look at the video. Metta World Peace asked by Complex Sports if Tracy is in the same class as Kobe and Michael Jordan. Metta responded this: the only difference, I think, with Kobe was that Kobe lifted more than Tracy. So I think Kobe lifting more helped his career as far as staying strong. Kobe did 20 years. I think that was the only major difference. As far as talent, Tracy had it all. He was a big-time player. He probably would have averaged the same amount of points nowadays, even as back then. He was good. Very, very talented.
Probably.
Definitely was on the level of Kobe and Jordan at one point in time. Don't miss that last sentence. That sentence is very...
No, it's a huge compliment, especially with, you know...
You're okay, I think.
I've seen Tracy at the gym in the hotel.
I mean, we're talking about two of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it's a nice...
Right?
That's
and
a
at
nice
some point, Kobe and I was a barbershop conversation as being the best in the league. I'm honored to be in that class. Now, as far as lifting, Metta played with me 1 year in Houston when I was pretty much done. I was shelling myself because I had knee surgery and I couldn't be that type of player. So no, the time that he was with me, I didn't lift that much weights. But throughout my career, that's all I did after games was lift weights. I had to because I have a slight case of scoliosis in my back that nobody really even know about in my career. And I had to do that. I was only projected to play 4 years in the NBA.
What?
Seriously, coming out.
So who told you that?
Because of the slight case of scoliosis in my back. The doctors told me that.
When did that come up for you? You were in high school?
No, this came up.
With the scoliosis. When did someone tell you that?
In the pre-draft.
In pre-draft work?
Yes, this came up that I was really projected.
That must have been kind of terrifying.
It was. And I lasted 15 years, so I overcame, what was projected of me. So, yeah. But no, great compliment, though.
When you're a kid and you think you're going to have this career and everyone says, oh, you're going to get drafted right into the NBA and you're going through these workouts and someone says, oh, we have a problem with your back?
Yeah. I was, terrified because I did have back problems at a young age and I had them throughout my career. So I had to find alternatives to not going to the knife, in which I did. My back went out on me on several occasions where I had to get carried out on a stretcher. And if anybody knows about your back going out on you, it's the worst feeling ever. But I managed to have a pretty good career.
Decent, halfway decent career.
Okay.
Not bad.
Man, you're like a medical book with all the stuff you've had happen to you.
Yeah.
Crazy. I learn stuff every time I talk to him.
Hall of Fame numbers. Tom Haberstraw broke it down for us. I will be very excited to be campaigning for you in a year or two. We got to take a quick break, but first, here is our distant replay from this date in 2008. Enjoy.
7 road wins.
Bobcats.
Oh! Not the 360 or the 180. Oh!
Dwayne Jones.
Oh, on my man Mike Miller. On my boy Spanky. Spanky.
Last night, with just 2.3 on the clock, Melo hit the game winner to beat Minnesota. Take another look. That jab step, just a thing of beauty. And Andrew Wiggins, don't feel bad. You're walking in the shoes many a man has walked in before. In fact, just a few nights ago, only 3 on the clock, Melo shot this over Michael Kidd-Gilchrist to beat Charlotte. And it's not just the youngsters who get burned. This was 2 years ago. Sorry, LeBron. In fact, Melo has done it to LeBron a few times. Remember in overtime back in 2010, Anthony was still a Nugget? Or remember back in 2012 when he hit the Chicago Bulls with the clutch 3, not once, but twice, both at the end of regulation and overtime? I mean, seriously, we could just spend the whole show replaying these, but that is why y'all have YouTube, so I'm just going to stop there. The key takeaway, though, is that while you already know that this Carmelo Anthony guy hits big shots, what you might not realize is that since Melo arrived in the NBA, no one has made more. That's right, not Kobe, it's Melo, and not by a little bit. He shoots 34% in those situations. That's why last night, even though Melo had been ice cold, and I mean ice cold most of the game, the call was for the ball to go to his hands in the final seconds. Jeff Hornacek knows who is on his team, and even though Kristaps Porzingis is arguably the Knicks' best all-around player these days, when it comes to this, well, there is literally no human playing professional basketball right now who does this super important thing this well. It's why when someone rips Melo as being trash because the Knicks have been, well, trash for parts of this past decade, you can just start laughing at those people. He may make some questionable contract choices. He may have some deficiencies in his game. Look, who doesn't? But he is supremely good at one of the hardest things there is in professional sports, and we should enjoy it, people, every time we get to see him do it. Now, I know both of you would also laugh at anyone who just completely trashes Melo because of New York's overall record. But there is some nuance here, even among people who think
Rachel,
that
I'm
he's
giving
good.
you the side eye.
I know.
You know, it's been a great week for Melo. He's made two.
Did you see all those clips?
Yeah, we had to go way back. Before
Took 4 days ago.
Before the last week, he'd missed 16 consecutive shots like that.
But when he hits them.
For 16.
But when he hits them,
In
right.
fact, if I was Tom Thibodeau, forget about Jeff Hornacek, if I was Tom Thibodeau, I'd have been like, this is fantastic. This is exactly what we want. We're 0 for 17.
Yeah, see?
But I'm saying, he's actually been terrible. By the way, is it in his contract that he gets to take the last shot? You may see this 16 in a row. You're getting 17 and 18.
I don't think Melo cares about being clutch in regular season games when we're
wants to take that last
when
shot,
we're a
though.
month into the season. I think he wants to be clutch in a playoff game. That's a meaningful game. This is a regular season, and that's where he's been clutch at. With his talent, I want to see Melo be clutch on the big stages. And as a basketball player, that's where you want to be your best. And in this game last night, it doesn't matter how many you miss. It's the one you make, and
That's
you
right.
came up
Thank you
close.
very
Okay,
much.
look, it takes skill. You were a player like this who got these kind of shots because you had the ability to get shots off in any tight situation. You can create space in one-on-one. It does make sense that Melo gets that shot there. Porzingis at some point will get past that torch. And I know I saw those numbers, and I appreciate ESPN Stats and Information for looking that up. But I'm telling you,
and I'll say this.
That they're pretend
And I'll say
numbers?
this, Rachel.
That those games didn't happen?
But listen, I had one of the most memorable comebacks ever
Yes.
in NBA history playing against San Antonio in 2004. What happened? Yeah, we won the game. We came back and won the game, but San Antonio won the championship that year. So, who cares about being clutch in a regular season
I
game?
shake his hand that shot last night. That was a baller shot. Wiggins played good defense.
No, he didn't.
He was up on him.
He went for that jab.
Well, I would have gone
Yeah.
for it too.
Everybody
I'm just saying, let's just cool it. Let's also remember Carmelo was like 4 of 15 before this, and the Knicks blew a
That's
17-point
patent right
lead.
there.
He was on him. He had his hand in his face. What are you going to do? Like I said, if I was playing the Knicks tonight and I could take Carmelo taking that shot with the last second, I'd like my chances.
This is what we want as basketball fans. We want someone who can look into the fire. You're in your driveway. You're screaming 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He hits the
2 of
shot.
18.
It is the most exciting
The one
thing
that
we have in
counts.
this
2 of
game.
18.
He has
you
done
saying
it.
over.
Okay, well, he has done it more than anyone else. Just take the loss there, Brian. The stats don't lie.
Yes.
Let's talk about the poor, dejected little Timber Pups who were on the other side of that Melo shot last night. Minnesota fighting back from a 17-point deficit in that game, only to lose. Karl Anthony Towns, 47 points, 18 boards. And at the end, man, did you guys see Karl Anthony Towns' face? It was so heart-wrenching. He had his hands in his head there at the end. He was all sad. It was. He blames himself, he says, for the team's poor starts. He says he has to do more. They did play some good defense in this game. They did better than, the bar was low. So they did play some good defense. Do we give them credit for
You know that I chase the
advancing?
Timberwolves.
I do. This is why this topic is in the show today, Brian, because you were here.
I chased
I
the
had them
Timberwolves
high.
to Lincoln, Nebraska, and Kansas City in the preseason. I went to their training camp. I was out there going, this is the team that's arrived. Here
Yes.
they are. This is their ascendant season. Karl Towns is the guy you want to build
Preach.
your franchise around.
Preach.
Andrew Wiggins is taking the next step.
Preach. And it didn't happen.
It's been... Tracy, how are you going to score 47 points at home
As a player,
and lose?
as a player, when your team is struggling, you sit back and you evaluate yourself. Okay, what can I do better to make us a better team?
But what is it? He's scored 47 and 18.
Exactly. I'm saying prior to this game, he probably said that. So he comes into this game and he scores 47 and 18, and you still lose?
And it's not
Like
like
that.
this is
Sounds like
Orleans.
Tracy in
He's
Orlando.
got talent around it. Well, it's not Tracy in Orlando, though.
No.
Look at the rest of that roster.
That's true. You never had guys like that.
No.
And
At some point, the standard has to be W and L. It can't just be these guys are good.
absolutely. I will say this. This is one of the most peculiar situations that I've seen in the last 10 years. These guys are one of the best first-half teams in the league and one of the worst second-half teams. And typically you'd say, well, that sounds like bad coaching. They've got one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah.
The analytics say this has
Something
to flip.
is not registering with these guys.
There is a Ricky Rubio element here we have to discuss. On the one hand, right, you do need, well, look, you need the veteran presence, you need the defense, but look, other teams do not guard him. Look at Brandon Jennings. Do you see? He's like, come on, look at that. I mean,
that's
right?
so disrespectful.
What is that like?
I'm playing devil's advocate here. That was disrespectful. That is the game plan because Rubio, we know he can't shoot. But at the same time, he's a point guard. He probably was running the play for a guy that had 47
This was my tweet of the night, by the way. Your boy Ham 11. Come on,
well,
right? Little Game of Thrones there for you.
Yeah, he was sort of antagonizing him there with that pose. But Tracy's right. He's following the game plan. You know what? When Chris Dunn is in there, his backup, they do the exact same thing. They back off him too. That's the issue. And Rubio's confidence is really low.
You know what we used to do to guys that couldn't shoot like that? We'll back up and we'll say start the break if he shoots it. Because we know it's not going. Start the break!
Would you tell him? That's not nice. Just saying, not nice. Another night, another triple-double for Russ. We got to talk about Westbrook, of course. Woo! Against the Wizards here. And this is also Coach Scott Brooks' first time back in the building since he was fired. He received a standing ovation from the Thunder fans. And look at that nice. That's very emotional for Russ.
Love.
That is love out there. And very different, as you may remember, from November when Russ and KD ignored each other before and after their game in Oakland. Just a little bit different. Brooks said the rift between Kevin and Russ doesn't make him feel good, which is what he said. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, his face when he said it, too, when he gave that interview, it looked like he was in pain. Although he's got a $7 million a year contract. It worked out great for him, okay? He really shouldn't be crying. But look, these guys, Tracy, they built themselves into superstars with Scott Brooks. Just because they didn't win, they're not playing for the same team now, it shouldn't disqualify that. And Scott Brooks put a lot of work into it. Sometime down the line, is it going to be in 6 months and 6 years? They're going to apologize to each other for the way they're treating each other.
They're going to apologize to each other, or?
Some point. Someday they're going to be standing there in Oklahoma City getting their uniform numbers raised.
I know when you have two guys like this that are at this level, when they depart, there's going to be some things written that is not true. I remember going back, and when I departed Toronto, I left my cousin in Toronto, and the media put so much information out there that wasn't true about us.
We'd never do that.
to cause rift between the two of us. It just took a phone call for us to get on there and hash things out. Because there was a lot of things said that was not true about us.
But here's the big difference. That's a very good point, and you are correct about 98% of the situations in the NBA when this happens. Here's the difference in the 2% of this one. Russell Westbrook, whether he believes it or not, is actively feeding the fire that he and KD are in a feud.
Right.
It might just be for show. We all know Russ. He can play a narrative as much as anyone. But, coming to the game in that photographer's vest, the whole thing,
shade.
him sort of, ignoring KD on purpose when KD tried to tamp it down. Russ likes it, whether it's true or not.
Let's be honest, everybody else likes it too.
We like it. Scotty Brooks doesn't like it, but who knows? Coming up on the jump, we are going to ask Tracy about some recent comments made about him, not from Vince Carter, but run our test.
I'm looking forward to this.
Also, who's in control of the thermostat at Wells Fargo Center? A little indoor humidity cost the Kings and Sixers, and we will play the blame game next. Tomorrow, come on. The jump is going to Chicago.
Is that the plane we're taking?
Well, Tracy's got his own plane, according to this. So, hey, full hour, 3 o'clock Eastern. Join us
Close the window
tomorrow.
when you fly, though, Trace. My God.
Time for Make or Miss, people. This is my favorite Make or Miss of the week. Make Beef Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas held up a crying Jordan head at the Indiana-North Carolina game last night. A little poking fun at his old rival. Brian, is this the best thing ever? That is my question to you.
It's better than any trash talk he could have ever given in any time in his career. It's my favorite thing I've seen.
It's
I love it.
Keep it going. You gonna keep me off the dream team? Okay.
I like we started the show with one Isaiah Thomas. We're ending with another. This is beautiful stuff. Miss Posters. Zach LaVine said before yesterday's game he wanted to dunk on Kristaps Porzingis, but guess what? KP blocked his teammate Shabazz Muhammad at the rim last night. You think LaVine just lit a fire into the
I think that's what KP does.
Yeah.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
That wasn't even weak, though, Trace. He was like, get out of here anyway.
Wow.
I know. Karl Anthony Towns did get a little bit on the unicorn, I thought, during that game. Make fashion statements. Jordan Clarkson wore this pink jacket a few days after wearing a kilt. Tracy, how do we feel about this?
Look like he's a part of the Saved by the Bell cast.
I was going to go with
Very
Grease and
screeching.
Rydell High, but maybe, I don't know. That means I'm just old. Who knows? All right, the kilt, though, too much. Miss versatility. Dwight Howard tried to lead a fast break yesterday. A for effort. It did not go well. Brian, do you think that he will ever try to run points
seems like
this
all
again?
big men want to be guards, and all guards want to be big men, and
Way to kill Jerry West up on that backboard.
That was not good at all. Make comebacks. Former Baylor center Isaiah Austin, this is such a good story, cleared to play basketball. He is currently working out, trying to get ready for a team overseas. And this is amazing, right?
This is. I mean, to be able to fulfill your childhood dream, this is awesome.
who's not going to root for this? This is an awesome thing. We all want to follow up on this, and we hope he gets good news and finds a spot.
We were talking in the last segment about Tracy having that moment of almost, oh my God, your basketball career could get taken away of you at the last minute. That's exactly what happened to Isaiah Austin right before the draft. So
kudos
nice
to him,
job.
man.
That's it from LA. We are all going to get on a plane to Chicago. We will see you there, 3 o'clock Eastern
Short
tomorrow.
left.
That's the end.